Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the European Racing Series Grand Prix here in Bahrain. I'm Ben Rwaggy McConnell, and joining me, as always, is the legendary David Faceti Time Tate. How you doing?
I don't know about legendary, but yeah, I'm doing all right. Thank you very
Good.
much for the kind intro once again. We're back. Second round of ERS. It's a night race. It's Bahrain. And again, nobody out in the first minute by the looks of things. So busy setting up their cars.
Yep. What do you reckon the chances are of rain today?
Have you ever seen rain in Bahrain or Abu Dhabi?
No. Actually,
I would love to see it. You would love to see it, but yeah, chances are about 0.5%, I would say.
Yeah. Apparently, there is a very, very, very small chance that it can actually rain on the circuit, but in all the time I've been doing F1 games, I have never seen rain that hasn't been forced on for a track like this.
Yeah. So I do believe 2018 it rained in Abu Dhabi, but it wasn't intense enough to actually force anyone onto wet tyres.
Yeah, I know it's done it in real life for definite. Oh, I lost Kartak. Kartak retired? I think that is...
I'll just double check that for you.
Yeah, I think it is. Whilst you're checking that. So all the drivers here today, all 20 drivers. A couple of names in here that we kind of expect to be at the top. I mean, last week we saw Azu was actually really good in the qualifying, but wasn't actually able to make it work in the race. That's kind of fell apart. I'm kind of hoping that he kind of changes that around a little bit, even if he does terribly in the qualifying, but just actually do well in the race would be good. Bottas Gang did really good in the qualifying, but then couldn't stick it through properly for the race, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so just going through those now. So, yeah, qualifying ban for Kartak for blocking in qualifying in Australia. Also, 2 penalty points for Bika for a minor avoidable collision, and 3 penalty points for Azia for failing to brake for turn 1.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, I'm going to do it to you because it wouldn't be tradition if I didn't. What's your top 3 for the end of qualifying? Yeah.
I'm going to go for... Bottas Gang, Luca, and Chan.
Okay. I think Bottas Gang is fast. I don't know whether or not I would say he's the fastest out of all of these here. I mean, he did prove last week that he had a lot of skill and a lot of pace and was fast enough in the qualifying at least to be able to make it work. There are a couple of people who I would say are better in the race that I would be looking for a different podium. But I think Bottas Gang, yeah, Paul. P2, I'm kind of looking at Vexit because he's been very quick in the qualifying. And then in P3, I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Landos Milman.
Yeah, I think he was like P4 last week. I'm not sure, but he was really impressive, along with Azia. Those two drivers, tier 3 last season, up into the big lights of tier 1, and not really being phased by it. Obviously, Azia didn't finish his race, but they both impressed in the early stages and in qualifying. So I'm looking for more from them.
Yeah, Bottas Gang then coming up to the final corner. Let's see what time he can chuck on the board then. This is obviously going to be the benchmark, and I'm not expecting this to be the best time at all. It should still be pretty decent though. 125.1, so not bad at all. Here comes Yonti to the line. Is he just starting? Yep, looks like he's just starting, although I'm pretty certain the game was saying that he had actually done it. Azzi's just done a time as well, 126.4, so he's quite the way off the pace there. We've got Vexit and Rainbow. Rainbow's come to the line already. He's gone P2 with a 25.7. Then we've got an Alfa Romeo in a second, and then you have Vexit.
Yeah. Vexit just splitting those racing points there. And yeah, as you said, Vexit going to be up amongst it, but Bottas going P1 right now. I'm looking forward to seeing what Hittinen has. I haven't seen him in a while. Last time I did see him race in Bahrain, he did actually win it. I think he got a puncture on the last straight, him and Panpernik. That was last season. He did a really great job. And pleased to see him back. He has just been out-qualified by his teammate, who is on the soft tire.
See, I'm quite sad from Hittinen, to be honest, because when I first came across Hittinen, I think it was commentating for a different league. He was very fast. Like a really quite competitive driver, and he had showed a lot of potential. But I don't know what happened to him. He just suddenly seemed to have disappeared off the face of the earth. He came back a few months later, and it's like he's got to relearn how to do it all over again. So I'm sad for him. That I think he could be much better than he currently is. But still, you know, it's at the very beginning of the season. He can still very much work on it throughout, and maybe actually just put a fair bit of practice time. And he's still done a 1:31.7. It is on the medium tires. It's not anywhere near the pace we need it to be. We're not expecting the medium tires to be 6 seconds off the current pulsating time. You know, that's shockingly poor. Even hards would do better than that. But I think that was just a bank lap, and that's all we're getting from him for now.
Yeah, it's a tough track. It is. There aren't that many corners, but the ones that are there to catch you out. Prime example is that downhill left turn, which it's pretty much impossible not to lock that front left if you're actually pushing for a hot lap. It's just going to come across the line again, though. I mean, yeah, that's more like it. 27.0.
Yeah.
Better. Not too bad. I mean, 1.9 seconds away on the mediums. I think he's still probably got a little bit more time there. Though I am comparing him to the ultimate fastest lap right now.
Yeah.
Chan also getting himself up there as well, up to P4. That's more or less what I'm expecting from him. Still, I'm relatively new in my experience. Anyway, I haven't really seen him anywhere else, but he's really hit the ground running.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we do have 7 drivers left to actually chuck a time on the board, so we'll see whether or not they actually stomp it out today. I'm looking at a couple of names there. Hazard, remember he was gone for quite a while. He has come back, and he's struggling to settle back into his pace as he was before. But he is still quite a quick driver. I remember racing with him not that long ago, and you know he's still got his skill, his talent. He just needs to relearn the muscle memory, and off it goes.
Yeah, and obviously with every edition of the game comes a new handling model and a new meta, a new way of driving, new setups, and yeah, you name it. I am looking for a decent lap from Danico, but both the McLarens actually are pretty strong. Copy in P7 right now. Although Copy, I think, is more of a race specialist than a qualifying specialist, but he can still get himself up there if he needs. But I'm just looking long-term in the championship battle. I know it's only the second race, but Chan, the winner last time out, Embassy, who is P2 in the standings, Fragioka, who's P4 in the standings, both of them not here today, so it is a good opportunity for the likes of Chan and Vexit to really stamp their authority on the title, and also for Bottasgang and Luca to make up for what was a really promising start, but ultimately a pretty terrible Australian Grand Prix for them.
Yeah, exactly. This is the comeback race, really, to try and prove what they are actually capable of, and that we know that they do deserve to be in the contention for an actual, drivers' championship is what I was trying to get to. I rate Bottasgang quite highly. I think he's a very, very good driver, very quick, very consistent. I couldn't even pinpoint exactly what went wrong last week. I mean, if I remember correctly, he went for a bit of a hellish dive on one of the drivers, and it just failed on him miserably. And safety cars could have saved him. It just went wrong.
Yeah, I think for Bottasgang it was the left-right flick at turn 11 and 12 in Australia. I think he lost it on the exit curb there, and trying to make his way back through the field, over driving, had a couple more scrapes and bumps. And, yeah, never really got himself up to where he needs to be. But obviously, first and third currently in qualifying, the Racing Points, and showing the same kind of pace they did last week.
Yeah. So, Racing Points need to get it all together today. They really need to show everybody how good they can be. But Vexit is actually looking really good today. I did put him in my top 3 prediction for qualifying. He is currently doing a 25.280, which is really good. Only a tenth and a bit off of current pulsating time, but I think we're going to be seeing mid-24s today. That's kind of the area I'm expecting the drivers to improve as the track evolves, and also as drivers start to push the limits a little bit more. We are now only waiting for 2 more drivers to put times on the board, Spicer and Kagan, neither of which I don't think have actually been out on the circuit. I think Kagan is going for a one-shot wonder on those mediums.
I think it's a bit early. If he does want the medium compound for the race, surely you'd wait until the track is at its finest. Maybe go for a couple of glory runs on the softs, just back out in the last moment. I don't know, but I think he'd be a bit of a fool if he wants to start on the race to go out this early, but he's obviously still in the pits, so, you know, it's his choice. But he's the only one currently on that medium compound.
Yeah, Brownie has run out of fuel and is bringing himself back into the pits as Dennis goes forwards, puts himself in P13. And this is a driver who I have seen when he practices, when he puts effort in, is actually a very fast driver. The hard part is getting him to put effort in. If he can do that, actually, you know, put it even an hour or two, just good quality practice into each race, he should be severely quick to a point where people are actually going to be worried about him, you know, taking some wins.
Yeah. Same with his teammate as well, Fragioko. Not someone who's always really been amazing, but he did a really solid job in Australia to bring it home in P4, and might be a sign of a kind of a new chapter and a more dedicated Francesco than we've seen in previous seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a very roller coaster ride from Fred Gioco in the past where he's had, you know, some races where he's been fantastic, and I've seen some other races where he's been absolutely shocking. It's just how he turns up on the day that's the main indicator, really. So, you know, want to see more from him, definitely. I think we're going to be a way off from seeing that for a while.
Yeah, we are now in the 24s as Bottasgang comes across the line, stretching out that lead. 124.867. That's 4/10 he's got on his nearest rival, Vexit. Looking at Hittinen now, who's switched to softs, bringing it through the last sector of this lap. It looks like he's got a car that's pretty on edge. Didn't even turn the steering wheel to kind of get it around there. But remains to see what kind of first half of his lap was like, because I wasn't on board for that. But I hope, for his sake, he's up there and he's competitive and he's making some people sweat. We'll see now as he comes across the line. Not bad. Not bad at all.
I mean, his teammate's behind him, but he has invalidated his lap. It's showing 3/10 faster on my screen. Obviously, we're not going to be seeing that time at all. So even if he was 3/10, it still wouldn't really change too much. It'd put him up to P2, yeah, that's for sure. But, I mean, Vex is on his outlap right now. He's ready to chuck in the new fastest lap for him, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. We'll see if he can do that in a short while.
Yeah, and Bottas setting 4/10 quicker than anybody else right now. That's a real statement. I think the pressure's on, really. And we could be looking at him sort of backing out if he doesn't get the perfect first sector, because there is 5 minutes to go. If he doesn't really nail this first lap, he can just dive back in. He should have enough time to get back out. Same with Bottasgang, who's in the pits right now. He's going to have time, if he needs to take another run. Obviously, that last run is going to be on the third set of tyres, which means he's not going to have a fresh soft tyre for the race if he decides to do that. But he's got 4/10 of a buffer, so I'm not sure if he actually needs to go out again.
Well, let's go on board with Vexes. He's currently just started his hot lap, so we are on a home straight DRS run coming up towards turn 1. Break when the curve starts, get himself down into gear 2, and maybe even gear 1 in his case. Then he's decided to short shift that one right back up to gear 2 and 3, through into 3, and Copies jumped up to P2.
Yep, solid lap from him. Next coming across the line is Hittinen, but that's an in lap, so you can carry on with your on board.
It's too late now.
Sorry, I've ruined it.
I mean, he's still looking good. He's not really made any mistakes so far on this lap. Everything seems to be pretty tidy. No lockups, no major back-end kickouts. Everything. This is going to be the major tester. Like you said earlier, this corner is really difficult when you're pushing as hard as you can to not lock up the front left, and that's exactly what he does. But he still manages to navigate, keep the momentum, and get the foot down just nicely on the exit. Charging up now then to turn 11 and 12, I believe this is. Probably the hardest area on the circuit when your tyres start to drop, because you will lose the back end so easily. And if you even clip that inside curb there on the right, you will very easily destabilize your car and send yourself off into the barriers. I have done that many times. I still have PTSD from it from last time, and I really don't ever want to race on this track ever again as a result. But here he comes then into the final corner. Has this one been enough? It was a 124.830 to beat, as Bottasgang has been beaten by Luca just by 0.03 of a second. Here comes Vexit, and he goes P3.
Yeah, and that is going to be his final run. I don't think he's got time to get it back in and have another go. But yeah, Bottasgang, well, he's answered my question. He is coming out again on that third and final soft tyre set if he's gone for the balanced tyre composition. But yeah, it looks like, and I might jinx it here, but it's a racing .12 right now. I don't see anyone who's got an extra sort of half a second in the bag.
Yeah.
We've got Chan, who's just started a lap, I think he might be able to get close, but it's all about consistency with Chan. He's been lacking. I think he kind of got lucky in the race. I feel like Bottas, Gang, and Luca were probably better candidates for that win. Chan kind of rode his luck there, but he drove a solid race, to be fair. Just see him invalidating and getting a couple of penalties tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's a big problem.
Yep, and that's his qualifying over as he retires the car. No one's set to be impeded by that. Everyone's miles away.
Yeah, and he's out of the way now as well, which is good. I mean, I just don't understand how he does that. How can you be in that scenario where you make a mistake as bad as that? You know, you've got to realize that at some point your car's going. Unless you just said about enough. This lap's been terrible anyway. Let's just bin it and get it out of the way. But I don't know. I feel like Chan is not really showing us what he's actually capable of. This guy has shown insane levels of pace in the past. Just needs to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, that test race instantly springs to mind. It was Zandvoort, and it was like the last sort of 5 laps. He was setting a fastest lap sort of every lap. He has insane pace when he can apply himself and maintain consistency, but he's going to have to fight for it tonight. Down in 7th, and he's obviously going to drop down more as people finish their hot laps.
And it's pretty tight, so it's not like people can't easily jump that. You know, I'm looking at Hitsonen thinking he can easily just pop up a couple of tenths there. Same for Jonty and Felix or Brownie or Lunenberger, as you can see him there on the left-hand side. He is somebody else who's very, very fast. As Verstappen has invalidated his lap, he's going to still commit, I believe. Now he's turned everything off. He should actually have time to get around and go again, so that's good from him to do that. Vex is retired from the session, so 124.933 is the best he can achieve. We have got a Mercedes coming to start the lap.
Jonty's who's set to come across the line first in this final run. He's really pretty much neck and neck with what he was doing on his last run. He's about half a tenth up now. He had a really bad first sector, but he's made up for it with a decent second sector. He's gonna just come across the final corner now. He's gonna get a nice healthy slipstream from Jakob. He just did extend track limits there, but I think he got away from it. And it looks slower. And that's bad news for him, because people are going to be faster. Verstappen next up, but he's invalidated, so next up is hitting them.
Yeah, let's see if he can actually do what we were talking about before then. So through the final corner, there is a racing point behind him as well. I don't think that is...
Bottas going to get one hell of a slipstream off him.
Oh, yeah. It's new pole. It's new pole.
And that's a slipstream. That was the slipstream right there. So he's got Hitton to thank there.
Yeah. That is fantastic. Okay, so Kagan is actually just in time, got himself across the line to do another lap. So we'll see. Do a lap, sorry. This is a one-shot wonder I was talking about earlier. He's very much attempting to do so. Hopefully he's put enough practice in prior to this race, because he's going to need to have done that. Otherwise it's not going to work out for him. Jay's also somehow managed to be able to start a lap as well. That's good news for him. Landers Miltman, where are you? You are further around the circuit. As he's coming to... I think our timer is a bit off then. Oh, as he has crossed the line, he's finished his lap, so he can't improve. He's P17.
So I think the spectators are about a minute out. I'm not sure if that's consistent for every session, but I've seen it as much as a minute out. I'll have to do some research on that.
Well, here comes Lando's then. He looks like he's 2/10 better. Has he improved? Yes, he has. A P7 on the board for him. Beautiful stuff. Here comes Jacobo as well then. He's going to go up to P11, 125.687. He's so close to Jonty, just ahead of him. And you could argue that Jacobo is actually in a better position because he's got the optimal strategy.
Yeah, well, it remains to see. He's obviously got Luneberger, Ayasmiter, Jay, and Kagan to come as well. So he could finish as low as 15th. Although that would be the worst possible scenario.
Felix to the line. P5 at 125.2, and now Jonty's got the best position overall, so it's just suddenly switched up like you said. And with Dennis coming to the line as well, he can't improve. And we have Williams coming, which is Hittonen, I believe. Yes, he's coming into the pits. Then we have Copy, who's invalidated, so he's not going to be able to improve. And then we have an AlphaTauri, which is Jay. Goes P12.
Yeah, didn't look like Kagan was at all comfortable there. Lack of confidence. Probably stemming from the fact that he hadn't actually been on track at all before then. I mean, I think it's a bit silly to just leave one glory on at the end. I would probably do a couple of laps in the soft, just not set a competitive time. get yourself at least warmed up. But he
Yeah.
chose not to. Obviously, goes above Kartak, who didn't set a time, but 19th is all he can do.
And it makes you wonder, like, where's the benefit? Like, and like
There
you
was
said,
no
why would you try that? Why would you even? It's so risky. It's such a huge gamble to even think about doing a one-shot wonder, and on medium compound as well. You're either incredibly confident or incredibly cocky, and it just backfired.
Yeah, I think it was the former.
Yeah.
Sorry, the latter.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is it for qualifying. I think we just got Luca doing an animation. I think, but yeah, he's retired now. So Bottas gang pole, Luca P2, and what was it? Vexit P3.
Yeah, it's really
no, I
good.
I said Chan P3. So
yeah, you nearly had it. You nearly had it.
66% there, but
I'll give you it.
I'm happy with that. That's all in a good day's work.
Well, the qualifying rundown is as follows. Bottas gang on pole with his teammate right behind him, only a 10th out. That is Luca. Vexit in P3 with Copy in P4. Felix in P5, Rainbow P6, Hittanen P7, Landers Milman P8 with Danico in P9. Chan literally 200ths of a second behind him in P10, rounding out the top 10 with Yonti getting best of the rest and optimal strategy. 1,000th of a second behind is Jay in P12, Jacobo P13, and the last of the to be within the 1 second as Verstappen is just outside of it. Hazard, Spicy, Dennis, Azia, Kagan, and of course Kartak, who doesn't have any time on the board because he had a qualifying ban.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Discord right now. What foot do you brake with, Ben, in sim racing?
Left foot.
Okay. Yonti brakes with his right.
What?
And I've just seen his pedal layout. It's like he's got the CSL Elite pedals. I don't know if you can see, how they're laid out, but
Yeah.
he's got half the sort of pedal missing, and he's just got two pedals really close together on the right side, and it's just really weird. Might explain why he wasn't on pole. I'll obviously give him some private lessons afterwards.
I mean, surely you're losing time there by the travel time it takes from one foot to the other. To go from right foot over to left foot right foot over to middle pedal is just, surely you're losing out there. I mean, in a GT car, I can understand, where you use a clutch, fair play. But in this scenario where you don't, why would you?
I'm not sure. I guess, obviously when you're driving, right foot braking is the norm. It's probably just not made the effort to break that habit, but I think there's definitely time in there if he does.
That's insane though, just thinking about it. Like, that is very, very hard to do. I mean, obviously, we drive in real life, we understand, that's how you brake in real life, but you're not trying to smash out ridiculous lap times in your normal everyday car. I can't imagine driving my Ford Focus Estate any more than the speed limit anyway, because it would be just like a boat on any sort of road surface. I just can't think why you would want to do that in F1. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but I also sort of like to kind of use the throttle while I'm braking as well, a little bit, to kind of change the balance of the car. And obviously right foot braking, unless you're heel towing, I mean, you're not going to be able to do that. So yeah, just an interesting fun fact I saw in the Discord and kind of cringed a little bit. I don't know.
Winston Penn.
yeah, slightly.
I mean, fair play to him. The fact that he can do that and be this fast is crazy. As Bottas gang has decided to create a new line through 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's at the end of the race you pick up all the marbles, right? In the dirt. But Bottas gang trying it before the race. Let's see how that works for him. Obviously, Yonti's technique has given him a fresh set of mediums, though, and that was a seamless entry to tyre strategy, right? Absolutely seamless. So him, Jay, Verstappen, Ayas Maita, and Kagan on the mediums. Hazard and Spicy, the Mercedes, both going for the hards early on.
I'm blown away. I'm absolutely mind blown that he does that. I mean, the fact that he's this fast. How is that even humanly possible? Okay. Anyway, we're looking at the pit stop strategy graphic there. Soft, mediums, or soft, mediums, hards. Apparently, I don't think we'll ever be stopping to a set of hards at any point. It's going to be a one stop. It's going to be soft hards, I think.
And I'm just going to have to interrupt you there.
Go on.
Luca does it too.
What?
So does Dennis.
How? Why?
But anyway.
What is wrong with people?
It is time to race.
And it's go time. The lights are out, but no one's moving. We are waiting for the delay.
Oh, you got lights? That's pretty cool.
Which is go. There we go. We are away. We're finally, after a bit of a delay, the racing points look like they got away quite cleanly. Copy seems to also be quite good, and also in for an optimal line in towards turn 1. The racing points are going side by side into turn 1, nice and cleanly. Vex is still there fighting. That is Copy as well.
Ashka's round. Only him, but yeah, he just got clipped on the front end and it just sent him spinning. Other than that, though, very clean at the back of the pack. No damage, I think. Ooh, there's a little bit. There's an AlphaTauri getting out of shape in the form of J, but no, all clean at the back.
Oh, we got Daniko and Hittonen. That is very close to the battle. They got going literally wheel to wheel. They're having to keep it completely within the track limits, and everybody's done so just nicely. Daniko will hold on to P7.
Yeah, Chan dropping a couple of positions, and that's not what he wants after a bad qualifying like that. He wants to make moves forward, and he's stuck behind Yonsei, who's jumped a couple of positions up to P9. He's going to be a serious roadblock for these soft runners behind. They really need to clear him in fast, and Lando's Milkman gets a little bit out of shape there. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. He went straight into the back of Yonti there, and that caused Yonti to have a massive scare. Jacobo also losing the rear of his car there. That is not how you want to be taking it through that series of corners. It is very easy to lose it. I mentioned it earlier. And you need to be keeping yourself very smart, very clear. And here comes Chan onto the back of Lando's Milkman, who's also trying to get the toe from Yonti, but I think Lando's is just struggling with the accelerator today. He's not quite got the pace he needed to out of that corner, and now you can see Yonti slowly pulling away, although he is being reeled in again. Chan could go for a move. You've got Jacobo, who's also here as well. This might be a dive and a half coming into it. There goes Chan down the inside of Lando's Milkman. It's just about right, but I think he's full lost out, and here comes Jacobo. Has to get onto the curb there. Everybody falls back to where they were, and that could have been really disastrous.
Yeah, it could start from Felix. He's up to 4th, or Lüneburger now. And, Luca lost connection. Yeah, Luca's lost connection, and that is bad news for not only him, but Bottas Gang as well. It looked like they were forming a nice little partnership for the slipstream, but Bottas Gang is not going to have any protection now.
Verstappen has fallen off the back as well, though. He's dropped off 6 seconds to Azir. I don't know how that's happened. I don't know where that's happened, but it has happened regardless. Azir has got a 3-second time penalty, though, so that is still something that works towards his favour. But, you know, you're still very far off the back. You're praying now for a safety car to just sort of bring you back into the scene.
In Azir's defence, he's driving like a madman right now, but obviously paying the price for it with that 3-second time penalty. But he's caught back up to the pack after his spin in turn 1. So, yeah, really great driving by him, but he seems to be locking up at every possible opportunity.
I wonder if Luca has been given an invite back into the session. I'm going to very quickly do that.
I will do that for you.
Oh, I'll beat you to it.
Okay, fair enough.
Done. Obviously, Bottas Gang sets the fastest lap, 129.9. He is right up at the front of the field, and no one seems to be able to chase him down. Luca's dropping places whilst he is trying to reconnect. That is to be expected. It might even be a network-related issue. We'll see about that later. Lando's Milkman should be able to get in this position nice and free. And still, so far, 3 laps in, no real offs.
Yeah, no. Verstappen obviously falling off the back. We don't know why that's happened, but other than that, it's been really clean. We've had a couple of side-by-side battles, Hittonen and Daniko being the main one, and yeah, everyone being really nicely well behaved, and no chance of an early safety car for maybe some like mix-ups with the strategy.
So, what are you thinking? 2 stops if you're on softs, or do you think people will push it from softs to hards?
I'm thinking, yeah, soft hard.
I mean, the hard tyre works quite well here, let's be honest.
Yeah, I had a league race here a few weeks ago, and we had a lap 1 safety car. And I did a really strange thing where I started on mediums, I pitted for softs, and under the safety car I pitted for mediums again, and then I basically just did medium to medium, and it was a really good strategy.
So it seems like the mediums do actually last quite a while here. Maybe we're going to see someone stretch the softs far enough to switch over to the mediums and then push them that a little bit further as well, so that, you know, they can actually then keep that one-stop strategy and be on the optimal tyres that you can go on to as Chan still working his magic on Lando's Milkman. Not quite in attack range just yet, but give it time. There might be a bit of a cave-in going on soon.
It would be a hell of an effort to stretch the softs out onto the mediums, by the way. This track is really hard on the front left tyre specifically, and obviously, you know, you've got your downhill left-hander where it's just, you know, it's really hard to avoid locking up, especially if you're on those older tyres and you're under pressure. It's going to be hard to keep those tyres in check, but if they can do it, they're probably in for a good result here.
Kagan and Azir just had a bit of a punch-up. It looked like Azir has come out on top though. Dennis is only just ahead of them. Even after that little fight they had, he's still kept within DRS range, which obviously he's going to get in just a second. Hazard is over a second away from Kartak, who, remember, started at the back of the grid due to that qualifying ban he served. And Chan, even though he's right here on the gearbox of Landers Millman, he can't actually find a way through. And he's just going to have to wait for the home straight. Oh, but his back end is very loose as well. That's a very big concern for him then, especially considering what happened in qualifying, where he lost the rear and found himself into a wall.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And just a word on Hazard and Spicy, I know they're dropping back. They're obviously on the hard tyre. I just feel like the track's not ready for a hard tyre yet. I think that it needs to evolve. In the second part of this race, maybe the hard will be better behaved, but the track's pretty new, pretty green right now, so they're definitely struggling for grip, as you can see with, you know, their lack of pace.
Chan and Landos are going side by side through turn 1-2. It was a very late break there from Chan, but he's made that move stick. A beautiful outside move there from Chan.
Landos come back though. No, okay, but yeah, obviously one feature of this is the swapping around of DRS. Obviously, if you overtake on the main straight, your arrival is going to get the DRS into turn 3, I believe it is. So,
yeah,
we have seen some long battles in the past here. Obviously, in real life, 2014 springs to mind with Rosberg and Hamilton, and you can have a real sort of battle between two drivers that goes on for sort of half the race, if you like.
Vexit is going for a move on Bottas Gang. This is going to be crucial now. He needs to make sure he gets the run through the corners, because you don't want to be on the inside on this bit. You want to be on the inside of the next. And that is now how Bottas Gang will hold on to Rear's lead. But to be fair, Vexit is still in the better position. He has got the DRS on the home straight, which is the most common overtaking zone on the circuit. He's not actually going to try and pass here because he knows there's the detection line. And now is go time. Now is get everything on active. That is fuel up, that is overtake engaged, DRS enabled as well. Get into the suck and see if he can slip on past Bottas.
Felix obviously taking advantage of the double slipstream, but I think Felix, as he dives to the outside, I think maybe he just got caught out as he was later on the brakes, but Vexit does get past, makes the move clean, and big snap there from Luneberger. He is off the track, but he's safe, that's the important thing. Hope everyone behind him reacts accordingly as Chan, picks the position from him. So down to P9 goes Brownie. But yeah, Vexit did take the lead in that. Bottas Gang now in P2 and Copy taking P3.
Luca has rejoined, or is trying to rejoin. There he is. But he had a mistake going through turn 2. He's now fallen to the back of the field, along with the fact that the AI did move him there too. Dennis is fighting with Verstappen for a P18 position. Dennis is back up into P18 now. But yeah, he's had a rough race, to say the least. We are also seeing the Alfa Romeos having a bit of a civil war as well, but whilst they're also trying to pass Lando's Milkman to get themselves into the points positions. I think the scrapping is going to commence at least until the pit window opens.
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone obviously in their own DRS trains. I just think once those pit stops start playing out and some gaps begin to form, we can start seeing some really interesting battles, some real cat and mouse stuff. But obviously in the DRS train, you're not really able to take massive advantage of that big gap in your rear wing.
But you feel still, for the most part, still within DRS of each other. It is Chan who's the first to break that, and in fact, that is him in the pits.
Chan
hard
in the
times?
pits. Yeah, I think it's about time, I think. You can probably stretch it out to 9 if you've been really good. But yeah, I think it checks out that they're going this early onto the hards. Yeah.
Landers. Landers is really struggling for traction out of those corners, and you can see now he's under threat. He's already been passed by one Alpha. It's now the other one trying to get around the outside of him here in turn 4. This is very difficult to make it work. And look at the AlphaTauri. This is Jay trying to slip his way through the inside as well. He can't get it. He has to back out, but they come together, and that's Lando's rotated. He did not want that to happen. That is the worst possible scenario for him, and that's exactly what he got.
Can't really say that's anyone's fault, but it doesn't look like there's any damage. That's a silver lining, I guess. But yeah, just one person wanting to make the overtake, the other one not wanting to back out, and you know, in the battle of wills, Lando, you can say, lost out there.
Yeah, I think when you play chicken with people, likelihood is one of you is gonna lose. It's just who's gonna lose. He took a gamble. Yep. It didn't pay off for him, and you saw him drop down the order now to P16, 5.8 seconds away from Kagan, who very nearly lost his rear end there. We have a nice little juicy DRS train from P1 down to P7, which is Yonti at the back.
Yeah, and Yonti obviously on that slower tyre, which is, well, it's rapidly becoming the faster tyre. And he's in a really good position right now. I think he might make a move on Hittinen here. Goes to the inside for turn 1. Hittinen brakes later, compromises his exit, so Yonti's still there, but he's on the outside there. Obviously not got the traction, but he's got another dose of DRS here. He's got another dose of overtake as well. Hittinen to the inside. Yonti even further to the inside. And still holding that position is Hittinen on those rapidly deteriorating tyres, but he manages to hold off Yonti at least for another lap.
But Yonti needs to be careful because he is in the DRS train literally for now, and only just because Danica is about to drop it. Hittinen's very much on that limit. He's now actually outside of it. There was the detection line. I think he has missed it, but we do have a virtual safety car, which should help Yonti out considerably.
Azja, no front wing on Azja's car.
Yeah, it should help Yonti recharge his battery quite nicely, and hopefully bring him back into into a powerful position when it comes to attacking and closing in on those ahead. If he can get the restart perfect, because this is quite crucial. This is where a lot of people are caught napping. If you don't time it just right, if you don't manage your delta for the VSC, you will find yourself running out of time, and you can maybe even get a drive-through, or you could drop a couple of seconds. It is massive. Keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, and the game is so strict this year. I mean, Sunday night I was in a league race, half a tenth I was over my delta. Bang, drive-through penalty. I mean, it's insane. Lando's Milkman there, drive-through penalty, speeding under VSC.
Yep. Vexit's in though, and so is Hittinen. So Vexit, one of the front runners, has decided it's time to go into the hard compound tyre. That is likely going to be to the end. And I think realistically that's quite doable. It's just when he comes towards the end of this, what state of the tyre is going to be in, what sort of lap times is he going to be able to chuck on the table. Because if they're even slightly slower, he's going to struggle. But now Yonti is outside of DRS of what was the DRS train.
Just behind Yonti. Jay makes the move, goes back on Kartak, who overtook him earlier. Obviously on those softs, but the softs are no longer the tyre to be on, especially after 8 laps on the clock. Jay, with those harder compounds, make him work over a longer period of time and taking that position back. But Yonti's in a really good position, like you said, on that harder tyre. I just wonder, is he going to go all the way this afternoon or this evening?
I think he's medium softs, maybe. Like, I do think that the medium tire will last longer than we think. I think the soft tire is the problem. Like, that will just disintegrate very, very easily. And you know, being on the soft tire towards the end obviously means you have not had to qualify on it, which is good. But also it means that you'll be on less fuel, so the car will be much lighter. The tire wear management should be a lot easier. We'll see. We'll see what he decides to do. But I think maybe a 2-stop is on the cards for him, unless he goes mediums hards. But I mean, that just seems suicidal. Why would you not go soft hards?
Yep. Luca joined. I guess so. Was Luca lost connection again then? Just seen that he's joined.
Yeah, he did. Right as the VSC came out.
Oh.
We need to go have a look at the battle for P2 right now. Danica is getting chased down by Rainbow, who is really fighting to hold that car in the right position. But look at Yonti. He's on this battle as well. He's equally as far away to Rainbow as Rainbow is to Danica. DRS very much available for all these drivers as well. Danica needs to use his teammate. He needs to close in, get onto that 1-second margin, and then protect himself by having DRS, and hopefully manages the DRS a little bit in case he drops out of it again.
Yeah, I'm concerned because obviously both these McLarens have to pit at some point. I mean, you want to pit this lap because you've just seen Bottas getting setting the fastest lap of the race. Obviously, the undercut is working right now. And for both of them to stay out this long,
Yonti?
it's a little bit suicidal.
Yonti, he's gone for a send, sorry. He's gone for a move down the inside of Rainbow. There's definite contact between them, but no damage. And Yonti's up to P3. That was crucial. He needed that ASAP. And I think, to be honest, so did Rainbow.
I disagree. I do disagree. I think Yonti needs to keep his head here, focus on his own race. Rainbow's probably going to be in this lap. Yonti, his only option is to drag this out for a one-stop. Whether it's going to be softs or hards, I'm not sure. I probably suspect hards at this point, the way he's driving.
Yeah.
If he wants that softs to the end, he's got to be super delicate.
Unless he's two-stopping. If he goes mediums... I mean, surely medium softs is doable here, especially at this point. If he continues a couple more laps on these mediums, he could easily do softs to the end. But he's going for a move on the race leader then. This is Danico under attack into turn 4. It's got to be clean from Yonti. He knows that, and he's done exactly that, but he's still there. But he has now finally got that move done, and the tyre difference clearly shows there with Yonti.
Yeah, it clearly shows that Danico and Rainbow have been out there too long, and they've hurt their races as a result, I think. I mean, they're going to have slightly fresher hard to the end. I don't really think that's much of a help, unless they're planning to stretch it out and go for mediums.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that's what they're going to do, and I don't blame them. I actually think it's quite doable. I think it's an option here, and especially if this yellow flag, which we have, I think is Luca, if that then transitions into a safety car, we may just see a bit of a strategy call here for Danico and Rainbow. They could go mediums if the safety car gets called. That is Luca, in fact, that is causing the yellow flag. But no.
Yeah, so he's letting people past. He's got damage, and probably going to park it, I would say, at the end of this lap. So another dismal Grand Prix, despite a really strong qualifying. Might be a little bit of a theme starting. But yeah, copy onto the medium tyre. I suspect Danico and Rainbow about to follow him. Landers Milkman gets a 3-second time penalty there.
Yeah.
He's down in 18th now, so he's dropped a fair bit through the pit stops.
Well, he's also got a massive gap. Look at that, 32 seconds to the driver ahead. Something has gone wrong for the Red Bull drivers today.
He got the drive-through penalty in the VSC.
Yeah.
So yeah, as I suspected, Luca is out of this race.
Oh. So both Danico and Rainbow have actually come into the pits and both gone onto the medium tyres. We're looking at 18 laps, effectively, to be done on these mediums.
Look at that. Danico's lost 3 positions to copy here, just with that 1 extra lap staying out. So that's really not worked that well for Danico. He's going to be stuck behind slower hard runners. I estimate on the older mediums. He's not in a good position right now. That 1 extra lap on that soft really hurt him there, along with Rainbow, who's even further behind.
But I tell you something, this is really working out well for Mercedes boys. Look at that, they're up 3 and 4 on the hard tyres. They can definitely go hard softs pretty comfortably, you know, and that is fantastic for them. It's now just when they come to those soft tyres, making sure they time it right as to when they go onto the softs, but also make sure that they are managing the tyre wear right as well, because if they don't, they're going to find themselves in a lot of trouble. A massive lock up there for Yonti. I'm looking towards Danico as well now, because he's actually trying to attack Dennis. Dennis is definitely holding him up. He's trying to get any opportunity through. He's going to send it deep. It's going to be surely a mistake here, but I think he's got it. Yeah, he's got the exit as well. Danico up now to P10. A bit of a desperation move there, and he might actually lose that position again, because Dennis is right there on the gearbox of him. He also has DRS where Danico does not. But Dennis is coming in, so that is actually a lifesaver there for Danico. He needed to get that move done, and it was quite crucial he did.
Very interesting. Only 11 laps on that medium. And he's going for hards.
Unless he's just really struggling for tyre wear.
It's bad news for those people who've just switched onto the mediums, I think.
Yeah. It is a bad sign, but I mean, to be honest, Dennis has had major issues. He did have a complete spin into turn 3, which did obviously wear his tyres down quite considerably. His temperatures would have shot through the roof as well, and there was a lot more mistakes following that as well. He has battled a hard race today, and it's not surprising those tyre wear is as bad as it is.
little battle emerging, I think, is Rainbow and Brownie in P12 and P11 respectively. See Brownie on these new hards, but Rainbow on the new mediums, and I know which I'd rather be on at this stage in the race. And crucially, Brownie outside that DRS zone to Danica.
Yeah, Rainbow all over the back of Lüneburger then. Like you said, they are still fighting, but I don't actually think Rainbow's properly pushing. I think he's just trying to sit in there a little bit, just hold on to the back of Brownie. Brownie is really fighting that rear today. He's not doing a very good job at all to keep his car in check. Charge is on.
13 laps for Yonti and Jay, and I think that is a pretty bad sign for Copy, Danico, and Rainbow.
Oh, look at Rainbow go! That was speed! Right on into the back of Brownie and straight on past him.
Sorry, a late dive from Danico as well gets him past ahead of Chan. And he's now going to be in the chase for Hittinen, but I just wonder if he's going to have to pit again. It might be a late stop for softs late in this race for Danico, so I can kind of understand his desperation and these late moves to get past other guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be as bad as we think. I do reckon that we're going to see a puncture there for sure towards the end of this. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and Yonti will be joining P11, obviously pitting it from the lead of the race, now outside the points, so it kind of illustrates how close this field is right now.
Yeah, Bottasgang also attacking Vexit. Now bear in mind, Bottasgang did get it on pole at the beginning of this race. He's coming into obviously the latter stages of it now. We are about halfway, almost. In fact, now we are actually halfway, which is good. Spicy still leading with his teammate in tow, very much in the DRS range as well. Vexit very slow through there. That was a mistake there by Vexit, which has allowed Bottasgang to close in. He got caught out a little bit, did actually lock up his tyres just a touch. But here he is then, DRS and ERS being utilised. Can he get the overtake done on Vexit? Copy and Spicy battling as well behind, but that's because now they're not. They've gone into the pits, and here he comes around the outside. He's trying to get the cutback. There's a little bit of contact between them, but no damage, and Vexit will hold to P2.
So Spicy, after 14 laps on the hard tyre, switches it for the medium. I'm not entirely sure what strategy he's trying here. I'm not sure he knows what strategy he's trying here either. But yeah, very interesting call at the front of the race by one of the Mercedes. Be interesting to see if Hazard follows it.
Yeah, I mean, they might just be worried that the softs are not going to make it. I think he knows the hards are starting to come to the end of their life. Not quite actually at the end of their life, but at a point where they need to be concerned about it. Jay's going to suffer a 3-second time penalty. Jacobo is hanging into this DRS range of Spicy Head, who obviously is on brand spanking new mediums. Should be in attack range on Jay in no time.
Yes, but he's going to run himself pretty tight at the end of this race, I think. He's got 14 laps to do. We've seen Dennis pitting on 13, Copy pitting on 13. You know, you want to be in full attack mode come the end of this race if you want to stand a chance against some of these guys who are likely to pit again. I'm looking at Copy, Danico, and Rainbow. Probably going to pit again for softs. Hazard as well, his teammate is going to be on the softs. I think he might have jumped the gun slightly. Maybe stick it out for 3 or 4 more laps, then go for it. But Hazard goes in as well.
Oh, look at Bottasgang. Race leaders are swapping places. Bottasgang's got the move done. He's ahead of Vexit, but like you said earlier, Vexit will have DRS coming in towards turn 3. So can he repay the favour? Can he return the position to its rightful owner? Or is Bottasgang going to have done enough? I think he's done enough, especially with the fact that Vexit is not trying to deploy any ERS. It's just sitting tight for now. And a good move from Bottasgang.
Yeah, at this stage, you don't really need to. We're halfway through. I don't see them pitting again, these two. I think Vexit would be happy right now just to stay in contact, recharge the battery, and sort of get him
3-1 in turn 4. Sorry, this is going to be huge between them. The AlphaTauri guys actually managed to keep themselves away from each other, but that is Spicy now up to P11. Fantastic drive from him. The extra grip on those tyres is really working out for him. And Jay on the hards as well should be pretty comfortable, but not as fast as you saw from Spicy. And Hazard very swiftly slides on past Verstappen, and he's going to be looking to close into his teammate as quick as he can.
Yeah, still not sure entirely what they're doing strategy-wise, but they're making it interesting for us, and you know, you can only thank them for that. But Spicy running out of that energy, inviting Jay in, for maybe an attack down the home straight, or maybe even before that.
Yeah, I think Hazard's going to be attacking Jay before Jay attacks Spicy though. Spicy just looks that much faster. Hazard is also very quick here today as well. Azio's had 2 3-second time penalties in the same place over the last 2 laps. So not looking good for him. Danico on Hittanen. This is going to be another move in towards turn 1. He's already got it done, I think, unless Hittanen again can get the retaliation. But the hard tyres versus the medium tyres, and they are still about the same life here, should mean that Danico will be able to hold on to this position. There's really not a great deal they can do about it. Here comes Hazard into turn 1.
Wow.
Oh, that's a send.
That is bravery, but Jay holds it around the outside, keeps a tyre there, and forces Hazard into a really bad line, which is giving Jay another chance to get back. He's going to go around the outside of turn 4, and he might not have the grip on these hards, and no, he does not. Hazard, a scruffy overtake, but keyword in that being overtake. He does make it past him.
Yeah. As long as you don't get damage, an overtake is a good overtake regardless. But yeah, still, oh, Jay getting on the curb there, that's not going to help him at all. Trying to maintain the DRS range is already dropping, and that, like, as a driver, that really starts to psych you out a little bit. Your mentality gets the better of you when you make these little mistakes, and you're pushing so hard that you can see overtake mode to try and burn it away and close in on Hazard and keep it in the DRS range so he gets on the home straight. You can maybe recover a little bit later, but I guarantee you're going to see more of the overtake, especially if you make more mistakes like that. He's surely going to DNF this race. His back end is so lively.
I don't know about that. I think, you know, he's probably practiced this setup, this strategy. I think he might be expecting this hard tyre to be doing that, but we'll see. I don't think he'll retire. Do
you have a penalty rundown?
I can get one for you.
Oh, that'd be fantastic if you could. Let me know when you're ready. In the meantime, we'll go to our good friend Felix, who's trying to attack Chan in towards turn 4. He's pretty close to the back of him, ready to get the DRS and the suck to go with it. But yeah, Chan holding it down in P7. He's got a lot of penalties to his name as well, which we will obviously get the rundown in a second as to exactly how bad that is. But he really needs to work on his consistency. We talked about this earlier, how he can be really, really fast, but being fast and consistent is the key part. You can't just be rapid over and over again. You need to be avoiding the warnings, avoiding the penalties, avoiding collisions, and just playing the long game.
So, I can tell you, Azia's got quite a lot, so it's taking me a little bit more time than
I'll leave it with you.
might have expected. Yeah, I will come back to you.
I mean, the gaps are starting to build even more around the other field. So, you know, there is a battle for P1, which is Bottas, Gang, and Vexit. They're staying within 7/10 of each other, which is good. This is going to be a battle to manage the ERS rather than anything else, because the pace is quite similar, I feel. Yeah, Bottas, Gang was faster in the quali, but when it comes down to the race, Vexit seems to be that bit better. Copy is on an island, effectively, along with his teammate behind him, who's got a driver in DRS range, another one right on the limit, which actually then starts to build another train. If Rainbow does close in to that 1 second margin, he's then going to have Chan and Luneberger all there as well, which is not good.
Okay, the calculations are in. So Azia has 12 seconds. Hittanen has 5 seconds, although he may have served that in a pit stop. Sorry, Azia has 17 seconds. He doesn't have 5 seconds. Jay has 3 seconds. Chan has 3 seconds. And Felix is running it close. He's on 2 warnings. But other than that, I think that's it.
Which is good.
Sorry,
it's
Landos has 3 seconds as well.
Yeah, and he's just had another spin as well, which really didn't help him at all. You know, the tyres are going to be cooked. Yes, they may be on hards, and that's all well and good when it comes to tyre wear, but any spins like that will absolutely eat the percentages away. And the tyre temperature shooting through the roof means that they're also going to accelerate that even more. But yeah, Vex is doing a really good job of managing Bottas Gang, to be honest.
Yeah, and sorry, 3 seconds as well to Yonti, so it's not really affecting his race at all right now, but it could really make him suffer late in this race, as we've only got 9 laps left.
Oh, is Vexit going to go for it? Surely not. This is going to be a dive and a half. He backs out. That was very wise there. I mean, the other thing you got to think about if you're Vexit is, even if you pass Bottas Gang right now, you've got to manage ERS. You know, Bottas gang is doing a much better job of managing that ERS. He's got, just about double and a bit more than what Vexit has. Obviously, Vexit did just burn a little bit on the home straight to try and attack him, but now it's that point, well, you burnt it, you backed out. All you're going to have to do is reset and just keep going. Yeah. That's going to be another 2 or 3 laps before you even have a chance to properly push and then deploy some to keep you further ahead.
Yeah, you've got to be dedicated if you're going to try and make a pass. There's no point running higher fuel, higher energy to get yourself up to the back of Bottas because you've gained nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably gonna set him back a couple of laps, and Bottas gang seems to be really strong in that second sector as well, which is kind of forcing Vexit's hand as well to push a little bit harder than he might like. Just compare the ERS levels. Bottas gang doing better with that as well. You wouldn't think that with Vexit having the DRS, but Bottas gang seems to be the quicker driver right now. Vexit just kind of hanging on in there, surviving.
I get the impression that Vexit is faster in the corners and Bottas gang is just running lower wings, which is what's allowing him to be a bit of a missile on the straight, and why Vexit is struggling to pass him when it comes to it. I mean, it's either that or Bottas gang is just that bit better when it comes to exit speeds, which is crucial. The exit is by far the most important factor on this circuit, purely because of how many straights there are. You need to get that right. Vexit obviously having to burn a lot more ERS to try and keep in that fight. And he's doing it. He's keeping himself there. But I kind of feel like Bottas gang still has this if it continues as is. There needs to be an adaptation made from Vexit, as Vexit's teammate Rainbow is trying to attack Hittinen. Had a little look into turn 4, but has decided I'm going to sit tight for a little bit longer and wait for a more clear opportunity and then try again.
I tell you what, I've been riding on board with Copy for about a lap and a half now. I'm really impressed with him. He's driving so smoothly. He's running really high on battery, 70%. Only 2.6 seconds behind Vexit. If these two start getting a little bit feisty, a little bit racy, Copy could be right in there if he decides to stay the course with his tyre. He's got 8 laps left. That's going to take him to 17 laps total. I think the way he's driving right now, I think that's maybe doable. He's driving so smoothly.
Yeah, I mean, Copy is actually the kind of driver I look to when it comes to consistency. I very rarely see him get a penalty. He's almost always driving within the limits. He's got pace, which is very important when it comes to these sorts of races. But, yes, he's on the alternate strategy, and it is a harder strategy without a doubt, despite the fact he's on a softer tyre, if you see what I did there. But still, 2.6 seconds, like you said, if Vexit decides that he's going to get a bit punchy with Bottas gang, that could easily bring Copy into the running for the race leader, especially if Vexit makes mistakes like that through turn 1-2, and that's allowed Bottas gang a little bit of breathing room as Rainbow is fighting with Hittinen, but he's still stuck behind him. Maybe go again here.
No, he turns his overtake off straight away, Hittinen deploying some of his. So the status quo remains there, but Hittinen's slow into that corner. Rainbow having to actually back out mid-apex, which is obviously never good for him, and really struggling. And if he doesn't get past him quickly, he's going to sort of lose the window of where these mediums do edge out the hards, because it's going to come to a certain point, I think about maybe 3 or 4 laps from now, they're going to cross over to a point where the mediums are not as quick as the hards anymore.
Yeah, without a doubt. And this is where you're going to start to see who's actually been managing their tyres very well or not, because regardless of what tyre compound you're on, unless you pitted in the last few laps, you're going to start to feel the wear coming up. And again, turn 11, 12, that is the main area where you're going to witness that more as the back ends get lively, unless you've got a super stable car, which is definitely doable in the setup. It's just not always the most optimum when it comes to raw pace. I think Brownie's going to go on Chan here. I think he has to. Oh, no, if he does that, this is what I was talking about. The back end's getting lively. Will cost you a lot of tyre wear. Rainbow's going to look to try Hittinen again. Hittinen's going defensive. Rainbow knows what's going to have to happen. That means outside line in towards turn 1 is squeezing him tight to the inside. That's going to drag him all the way to the outside curb. They're still hooked on each other. Rainbow will not back out. Hittinen will not back out. They're playing chicken. It looks like neither is leaving.
It's 3 wide. It could even be 4 wide if Brownie wants to get involved. But Chan cutting to the inside, making contact with his teammate, takes 2 positions, loses the rear end and brings it back in. And I no longer have the words to describe this battle. Chan on the outside, Felix still at the back, but it's given Hitton a little bit of breathing room, and it's seriously hindered Rainbow.
Well, not just that. I
Still
mean,
going on.
Brownie's watching this, continuously trying to find a way through, and this is the most frustrating factor. He's got the cutback. He might get the drive out of this corner. He can't lose the back end, just like Chan did. This is going to be an inside line. Turn 3 into it. It's going to be hard here for them to go 3 wide. Shortly, Brownie's going to get both of them in one corner. Yes, he has. That's Rainbow losing out as well, but Chan is still stuck
on the
inside line. This is going to be very difficult for him. Brownie, as you get another 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, there's contact. Off goes Chan in towards the wall, and surely that's a safety car now.
I don't think so. He's not retired the car. He's going to reverse onto the apex of the corner, which is always a good idea. But yeah, Chan just lost it mid-corner. He was forced to that tighter line on the inside. He had to turn the car more. Obviously, we know that's a corner where your car is working at its maximum aerodynamically. He gets a little bit of a tank slapper on, corrects it perfectly, but then just tiny little clip on Felix.
Oh. Fix it with a huge send on the inside of Bottas Gang. He's brought himself into race lead. Sorry to cut you off there, but that was a very ambitious but successful overtake on Bottas Gang. He's actually still got a decent amount of VRS. He's still half of what Bottas Gang has. And we're starting to see some retirements come in. Chan retires, Kagan retires. Yep. And yeah, I think we might see a couple more before the end of this race.
Yeah, Chan overheated tyres, just lost it through that final corner. And just hit the wall, instantly retired. I don't think he broke his car, but he just had enough. Kagan, not sure what happened with him. He just drove it into the pits and decided to retire. Both of those leaving the session. And that was a bitter end to a very exciting bit of racing where I had literally no words.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very, nervous little battle there. There was 4 cars, literally wheel to wheel, bumper to bumper, if you want to call them bumpers, wing to gearbox, or whatever you want to call it. That is a very scary situation to be in. You've got 3 cars you need to pay attention to, all while keep an eye on your own car, making sure you don't make any mistakes or send it off into the wall. Credit where credit's due. Brownie really made that work. He got himself now up to P6. He still has to do something about Hittinen, but this is fantastic.
I still no words, but Hittinen under pressure now from a different source, and Felix not getting a very good exit there. Could be vulnerable from Brownie, but from Rainbow, but he does not deploy his overtake. Hittinen lives to breathe another day.
Yeah, just keeping it together there.
Yeah, I'm looking at the gap between Copy and Bottas Gang. It is going down 1.8 seconds. You'd expect at this point the gap to be increasing, but Copy is just doing a supreme job of driving what can only describe as the most boring race I've ever seen. The way he's not using overtake. I don't think he's switching his engine modes around. He's not sliding, he's not locking up, he's just driving around. But it's so effective. He's in P3 right now, and it's an outside shot, but I think he might be able to win this if there's a bit of action between the leaders, and I think there will be. They're only 2 tenths apart coming to the final corner.
Yeah, this is surely going to be a little bit of a spicy end to this race. We've got 4 laps to go in just a second. Copy is gaining because of the fact that these two keep scrapping. Bottas Gang's decided not to use his ERS, and he's also flapping the DRS.
Yeah, I was about to say, maybe trying to send a message to Vexit. I don't know.
I have seen Bottas Gang do that a few times. I think it's more of he doesn't want to pass yet, as Hittinen has been passed by Brownie, and Rainbow's trying to get him.
Do it again, but also flicking to the inside, so maybe try and unsettle Vexit. But all this playing around is playing into Copy's hands. 1.5 seconds is the gap. And he is continuing to really, really surprise me.
I mean, I don't even know. The thing about Copy is he never gets any screen time. He never gets any screen time because of the type of race he drives. But he is the Carlos Sainz of, esports racing or league racing. Or Bottas Gang surely not going to take it now. He has. He's gone for the move. That has to be a mistake.
That's good news for Copy. It's good news for Copy. If they're not making it a clean overtake down the main straight, this is all very good news for Copy.
Watch that time drop. 1.4 now. 1.3. This is fantastic for Copy, and they're going to do it more. They're just going to keep battling in towards turn 1. Copy's just going to gain a ridiculous amount of time here, and this is just going to continue until the race finally ends, or one of them bins it.
Yeah, my only concern, I'm not sure Copy's actually going to have that final edge with the tyre to actually make a move. That's my only concern, but they do swap the lead again, Vexit and Bottas. Bottas doesn't seem too keen on defending. I think he knows it's kind of inevitable that he's going to lose it under DRS. He's going to wait for his chance on the second DRS straight and breeze past. Vexit running extremely low on battery, under 10%, and obviously Copy just doing his thing, plodding along. 1.4 seconds down.
I think this is fantastic. This drive from Copy, in my opinion right now, he's driver of the day.
I think, yeah, I would struggle to find a better candidate.
I mean, it's not even about the positions gained. It's not even about the sheer dominance he's had, because he's not really been that dominant. It's just he has been easily the most consistent driver on the field. He's got that pace already anyway, and the fact that he's able to be in contention for a race win, and all he's done is just do his thing. He's just carried on smashing it around the track over and over again and not worn his tyres out.
Yeah, and a bit of credit as well to Danico, who's a fair bit behind and doesn't look like he's going to get anywhere near the race win here. But he's up 5 positions. Kartak as well up into what is a point-scoring position from the back of the grid because of his qualifying ban, so he's done really well, but he's also under pressure from Hazard. I feel like his tyres might be starting to go off right now.
Would you like some juicy information?
Ooh, go on then.
So I've just checked the tyre temperatures for the top 3 drivers. Bottas Gang and Vexit are in the high 90s, mid to high 90s. Copy is in the high 80s. He is cruising.
He's just chilling. Not the driver, but that's just what he's doing right now.
Yeah. But my only worry is he's running out of time. If he's going to push, he has to hurry up. And I think he's of the impression he can wait for penalties to arrive. But Vex is running out of time to Bottas Gang. Neither of them have actually made any mistakes. They may get lackadaisical when it comes to the remainder of the next lap. And I think if that does happen, then Copy has got a chance. But
8/10 the gap. Sorry, 8/10 the gap between Bottas and Vexit. If Bottas pushes now, he could force that 1 second gap, which could really maybe put an end to Vexit's challenge tonight.
Well, we shall see. Vexit hanging in there just about. Yeah, I think he's listened to you. He knows it. He's like, oh, I'm right on the limit here. I could actually get this. But here comes the detection line. There it is. It's just over it. I think he may have actually done it. Let's see now as we come onto the home straight. Are we going to see DRS being available? No, we're not. Bottas Gang has cleared it. Copy is running out of pace.
Below his fuel filter right now, though. He's got to save on this final lap. That could be crucial. They're both running really low on ERS. Copy is now running low on ERS. Everyone actually, I'm scrolling back. Nobody's got any battery left to give. Yeah. And I think Bottas Gang, I know it's a bit early to call, but he might just have edged it with that push in the second sector there on the last lap.
And the other problem is Copy's pace is gone. Copy's pace has just disappeared now. It's not that he's not capable. It's his tyres have just decided that, look, okay, 17 laps, I mean, you're having a laugh now, let's be honest. You pushed it the first time. It doesn't matter how good you are. Oh, that's big. Hitting him with a penalty on the final lap. This should allow Rainbow to pass him, and even Yonti.
Yonti has his penalty of his own, so that's not going to happen. But yeah, he's going to certainly lose that spot to Rainbow. Spicy pretty close to gaining a spot on Yonti. He's got 3/10 to go. Azia obviously at the back of the field is going to lose out because of penalties, but there's any other movement because of penalties.
No. Vexit has to pray that Bottas Gang makes some sort of huge mess up coming into the final corner. He's literally dumping everything here to try and make it. The only thing that might work out for him is if Bottas Gang hasn't managed his fuel, which I think he will have done. He does this most races, but Bottas Gang will come to the line then. He will smash it home for a 25-point victory with Vexit there in P2. Copy driven an exceptional race, gets P3. Danico P4 with Felix P5, Hittinen P6, although he dropped some rainbow gains and Yonti gains as well.
Yeah, Hittinen had a 5-second penalty that he hadn't served. I didn't see that.
Well, he's dropped outside the points.
Yeah, so that was 8 seconds in the end for Hittinen. So a really good drive from him, but, you know, as we so often see, penalties do not mean prizes. That's the only way I could put it, really.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Dennis, Landos, Milkman, Verstappen, and Azia have all had tragic races, to say the least. They've had mistake after mistake. They've had contact. They've had rotation. They've had pit stops. They've had, you know, drive-through penalties, speeding the pit lane penalties. And you're going to see, I think, when Azia crosses the line, which he's done already, I believe he's had a stack of them already added.
Yeah. Just look at that gap now. 3.6 copy. He lost 1.6 seconds on that last lap, so I think you were definitely right in saying the tyres, they had given up.
Yeah, they just turned off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, that was still a very impressive drive from Copy. He went for the soft-medium strategy. Imagine if he had gone to the hard tyres. Just how well he could have actually done that. He could have easily gone to the end. He could have easily started contesting for that race win. He had that natural pace. He had the consistency. There's no doubt about that. Just the wrong tyre choice ultimately cost him a race win.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, I think regardless of that, he's still my driver of the day. He
absolutely
nailed it today.
And I don't know, in some aspects that strategy probably gave him a big advantage on the hard drivers early on in the stint, so let's not just say it was a terrible strategy choice, because I think he made it work to its maximum potential and maybe even more there.
I think
his driving.
He needs 2 awards, really. He needs a Driver of the Day award and the Carlos Sainz award. This guy never gets any screen time because he never has to. He just does his thing. He just carries on driving his normal race, keeps it as consistent as can be, and then brings home the bacon. And fair play to him. He's started P4, moved up to P3, secured himself a podium. Very well done to Copy. But it is Bottas Gang who gets the win here today. And I believe, is that the fastest lap to go with it as well? I don't see anyone else beating that. I think that is the fastest lap. Oh no, he's been beaten. Danico beat him. So Vexit will be P2 with Copy there in P3. Danico P4, Luneburger P5, Rainbow P6, Yonti P7, Spicy P8, Kartak, who jumped from P20 to secure a solid P9. So good couple of points there in his pocket. Hazard getting that final point as well. I mean, even the last 3 point scorers all jumped up a quite considerable amount of positions to secure some points, which is good. Hittinen with a massive penalty knocks himself down to being the best of the rest with JP12, Jacobo P13, Dennis P14, Landers Milman P15, Verstappen P16, Azia P17, and the last of those to finish with Kagan, Chan, and Luca all DNFing this Grand Prix.
Yep, some of them unlucky, some of them, you know, bad judgment calls and overtakes. Luca, I feel really bad for him. I feel so bad for Luca. He's just... All I can say is I hope it gets better for him. He deserves a good result because he's a good driver.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he properly showed pace. You know, fair play to him. It's a shame that his game crashed on him twice. He really committed to getting back into it, though. He rejoined twice. But, you know, at that point, his race was already done. And, yeah, fair play to him for retiring. But that's it for the European Racing Series Grand Prix here in Bahrain. As always, I've been Ben Raggan McConnell, and joining me has been David Fossetti Time Tate. Thank you, sir, for commentating alongside me, and we'll see you guys next week for China? Or is it Vietnam? Is it Vietnam next?
It's Vietnam. It's Vietnam next, yeah. And
yay.
Wow. I don't know if you've commentated on a race there before, but it's wild.
Is it actually?
Yeah. It's, you know, especially if there's, you know, even the hint of a bit of moisture in the air.
Oh, really?
You're going to see half the field gone.
Okay. Check that out next week. See you soon.
See you soon.